off on my. There we go. There we go. Nope. That better? There we go. I think I got it. Sorry, y'all. I thought there was sound. My mistake. I had some problems getting into some accounts, and I was messing. Anyway, I was messing with things. So let me just review real quick. This is a Sargent. It's a detail of one that I'm doing. The actual one is the full figure. I'm using acrylics. I have white, black, yellow, red, blue, cadmium yellow, cadmium blue, or red, ultramarine blue, burnt umber, burnt sienna up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and work this as well as I can over the next hour. Maybe 2 hours. I did not realize that the sound was muted on my recording device. Thank you for saying something. I really appreciate it. Lizbeth, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. I'll just keep going. At the beginning of this, I showed, sorry, it's hard for me to work and speak at the same time. I showed the one from last week. I didn't particularly care for it too much. I'm getting out of practice is what it comes down to. I have no excuses. For why it just did not come out to par. I've already got things set up here, so I'm not going to switch the page back at the moment. We want to use our time for working on this. And that's just a regular spray bottle. Well, it's not regular old, it's an olive oil is what it's made for. It looks very orangey right now. And that's because of the flesh tone that I used, that I mixed up. So I'm going to fix that as I go along by adding in the complementary color. And a little white. See, that to me looks more yellow ochreish. All right, let's get these eyes in. I think once we get the eyes in, it'll all start looking more. I was trained to work the whole thing all over, and not just do one spot and go out. So, pardon me. Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know again. That's my chair. I wasn't aware that there was a sound issue. So I really appreciate it. I'll leave it that way for the live. There wasn't any groundbreaking information I gave out or. I really wish I could stream playing music. I tend to listen to music when I work. Whoops. Had a paintbrush malfunction. It's just too dark. Too dark. This piece was, or is, really large. So the fact that I'm doing that this size is a little different. Originally, if you were doing an actual master study, traditionally in a atelier fashion, you would use the same materials that they used as close as you could, and also do it at the same size. And this is much smaller than the original, obviously. Yeah. I wanted a little bit of blue, but you don't, yeah. Sometimes, no, I don't like my acrylics to be real thin. I like them to be juicy, thick. Mixed a little blue in with that. The day that I'm filming this is Veterans Day, so happy Veterans Day to those veterans out there. Hey, that's a good thing I'm doing. I did not make the association of you doing Teddy Roosevelt with Veterans Day, but that works out kind of cool. I'm just going to trust the process, and this isn't going to, it'll look kind of messy, and you'll wonder, why did I use that color there? Or we'll just do the best we can. And hopefully in the end, I don't like that color in there. I really prefer, I think next week I'm going to do oils, which I'm out of practice of doing too. So hopefully between now and then, we'll get it sorted out. That's just, I put that black there more for my own visual, to register the colors. I know some artists swear against using black. I think it comes from the Impressionist. But Sargent did use black. So I am too. Again, this is just to register, so I can register the colors. And then I'll come back and finish that out. If anybody has any questions or anything they'd like to share, feel free to do so in the comments. I'm not going to probably talk through all of this because I can't remember if I'd said it with the sound on, but it's a little like walking and chewing gum for me. See, instead of staying up here with the flesh tones like I should have, I started going down. Because when you use acrylic, it dries out so quick that, see, now I'll be able to paint over that. Oops. What are you all working on? What are you wanting to work on? I decided to keep this non-political, partially because I am in the U.S. But we did have an election here on Tuesday. I bet you've heard about it. So it's been an interesting week. See, that's just too thin. I don't like it when it's really thin. This is on gessoed paper, by the way. It's on a Bristol. Whoops. Had a brush malfunction. Sorry about that. I'll just keep it together right now and switch here in just a second. You can see this is very, very orangey. I think once I get some of the shadows and things in, it will improve that. Why is that not coming out? I don't know how that's registering on your screen. It's coming out very fleshy. I don't want fleshy there. And my white is whiting. I think part of it's this brush. I just didn't clean it well enough. Hello, Gerard. How are you? What are you doing today? Oh, I got a dot on there. Dadnabbit. That's a little closer to the value. I have a stack of paper towels here I prepared ahead of time to also that I don't know if you can see or not, but I use the automotive towels, the blue ones. So I don't know why that was important for me to say at that point, but let's go back and, well, let me get that taken care of. Just for clarification, there we go. Whoops. When I was in grad school, I worked very, very big a lot of the time. And we moved into this smaller house. And it's ever since then, it's been very difficult for me to just mentally wrap my head around working very large. Storage is an issue. Just a lot of things. It's just not flowing like I want it to. This is really making me want to get out my oils for next week. It's just not. I'm fighting my materials. That makes it more difficult. Ideally, you mix your colors and you can make small adjustments here and there and just put them on the canvas and not have to make as many adjustments and things that I have to do because of the dry time. But we'll do her. We'll do the best we can. Just clean up that edge a little bit. That's a little better. Mm-hmm. I was just reading the comments. I want to do these every Monday if possible, at least until the end of the year, so that hopefully we can end the year strong. I'm putting all of these in one notebook. That's really orange, isn't it? So that at the end of me doing this, I'll have them all together in one location. And I know this is darker than I'm determined to stay on this eye this time and work it out before moving on to somewhere else. My palette's starting to get too dirty. So I may need to pause here in a moment and clean it off some. Again, that noise is my chair. I swear it is. I'll put the highlights here over the top of the skin and not include it in this layer. I'm not going to try and do every brush stroke the same as his, but I am going to try to do a resemblance to his piece, if that makes sense. One year I did 100 heads in 100 days. I think I need to do that again. My problem is too, I'm at home. I don't work outside the home any longer. So I don't have the access to as many people. But I think I could probably get my community, my local town to do some things. I do have a dog here. If you hear him barking, because he's kind of a nervous dog. He is fine, just FYI. My husband went and ran errands, and when he comes back, the dog will probably go crazy. Something on my brush. See, I really like it when there's, sorry if my talking is distracting you from. I know this is a weird thing to say, but I love the shape of his nose. He has just a very chiseled, classical nose there. You can write that on my tombstone. She loved Theodore Roosevelt's nose. Or she loved to paint his nose. How's that? That sounds a little less creepy. 49 minutes. I think it varies by artist. Because I tend to, the way I usually work, or I used to work, was I would work from big shapes to little, and there would be no drawing. The drawing would be done, the drawing, quote unquote, layer would be done with paint, with like raw sienna and a lot of mineral spirits. And I really need to get this, my setup, to where I can be working at my easel. But this setup, this working flat on a table, is much easier to film. So that's something I need to. Man, this is just. Sorry, I've got like 2 conversations going on in my head. See how dark his neck looks in comparison? Just. I don't know. I think drawing skills are very important. I think they're at the root of all visual art. If you don't have drawing skills, it will really affect the final work. And it will limit you on what you can do. I have been painting a lot of florals and landscapes, and it has affected my skills on portraiture, which is one reason I wanted to do this. I know that sounds weird, but I wanted to do that so that I could get those skills back. It's kind of like use it or lose it. And I was losing it. It's so different. Technically, if you know how to draw, I know I'm going on a TED Talk here, but if you know how to draw, it doesn't matter what you're drawing, whether it's a tree or a person or a, whatever, because it's all light and shadow. But I was trying to paint very, very loose. I was trying a completely different style. I mean, it was really loose. It was more abstracted. And I really think it kind of kept me from doing. The nose is usually very vascular, so there'll be a little bit more red around that area. This line right here is going to be a little more red. He has a very large nostril there. Just trust the process. It'll get there. It'll get there. Gonna need to do some spraying. And like I said, I'm keeping from putting the highlights of his glasses on there until after I get his skin. See, this all down here looks very, way too much light. But right now I'm working on this area. Oh, I was going to spray, wasn't I? Do you hate that when you put your brush in paint and then you forget which paint you put it in? See, I just said I'm focusing on the eye area, and then now here I go, putting in his mustache and all. I guess it just bothers me too much that this is so light. So what do you all listen to while you're working, when you're doing things? Do you listen to podcasts or music, or, and if so, what artists do you listen to? I'm really curious. I've been listening to some things that are not my usual. See, that should come up. Do not like how his chin looks. See, that should be dark. See, that looks more like he's got a beard when he doesn't. But it'll fix itself. I put out a lot more paint here than I probably will use, but the system that I use are these little containers with lids, and I can just put the lid over the whole container because I have them in a container, if that makes sense. See, I don't think that's long enough right there. I know part of it is that my brush is probably too small. Just excuse me if my head gets in the way of the. Oh, come on. I really need to do the 100-day, 100 portraits. Does anybody want to do it with me? I really need the practice. We could do it with whatever materials we want to. I'm tempted to say oil for me. But I don't know. It looks like I need more practice with acrylic. It's just so not how I want it. Come on, baby. That looks a little better, I think. I'm looking at the main screen where you all are. See, that's already dry, and that's very frustrating to me. I was doing a lot of oil pastels. I found it much easier to work with. And because it stays workable, it stays open. I want to order some open acrylics from Golden just to see how long they stay open. Has anybody used them? Or I probably ought to go search for the Frugal Crafter and see if she has, because she gives wonderful reviews of products, in my opinion. Get your little nostril up there. Come on. See, to me, it's not necessarily looking bad. It's just, I feel like I'm just fighting it. That's not what I wanted. Maybe it's just because I'm working so small in comparison. The weather is beautiful here today. I am in Kansas and it is just gorgeous outside. I think when my husband gets back, we need to go for a walk. And a big reason you saw a more detailed drawing was because just confidence. My confidence was not there on making this work right today. And I didn't want to waste your time figuring things out. I wanted to be able to just jump in and start painting. So you didn't have to sit through that. I'm looking. This right here is not on. It's further over. It's a little better. Okay. I haven't even begun his ears. Poor Teddy. We've been going at it for 1 hour and 14. Which is too bad. Let's get his little ear in here. I really don't know that much about Teddy Roosevelt. I'm going to have to plead ignorance. Yeah, I know the whole national park thing. But that's it. That's all I know. It's a little blue. It's interesting. You can see the shadows so clearly of his glasses. Without even putting his glasses on there. You know what? At this point, he kind of reminds me of Tom Hanks. I know that's random. I need to switch towels. My paint is just not coming out as clean. You know what it makes me think of is Tom Hanks's Sully, the pilot that landed in the Hudson Bay. Yeah, and teddy bears. I don't know anything much about him. Maybe this would be a good thing to do this afternoon during some downtime. One thing I've learned is my white dries very transparent, and I really fought it on last Monday because I would lay things down with white, and then I'd have to come back and redo it and redo it and redo it. And that's one reason if you see it, it looks so much darker. I'm just checking it out on the screen. He has, you can see a little bit of his eyelid in here. He had very heavy eyelids. Right. I need to come in and use just a Zorn palette. first I thought that was a just a crease in his brow. I didn't realize it was his glasses. Come on. I'm having trouble getting my... Let's see how much darker those dried. If that's what you want, that's... I can see it already getting darker on me. Usually white is not that transparent. It's usually the most opaque of all of them. Wow, I just wiped out my white. I'm still seeing Tom Hanks and Sully. I'm mixing a lot of ultramarine and is it burnt sienna? It will give you a really dark. If I had some dioxazine violet or purple, I would probably be using it as My dark, dark. Okay. Good, baby. There we go. One thing you'll notice if you ever see a Sargent in life, in real life, is that the layers of paint are very smooth until he gets to, I mean, you can see the brush strokes because he keeps it loose. But when there's a highlight, like on his head up here, he will build up some texture to make it come forward. I wish I could get the depth in his work on here. But for me, the only way to do that really is with oils. And I don't mean to knock acrylics because I've certainly used them a lot. But when I want that juicy, look, I have much more luck when I use oil pastels or oil paint. So I think I need to switch it up. Unless you all are just having a preference for acrylics and that's what you want me to use. I know a lot of people have been using oil pastels in the last few years, a lot more than before. Ooh, went right over his eyeball. It's not even a Joan Crawford eyebrow. It's I've been thinking a lot about an art guild that we used to have here locally that's no longer um, around. I really got a lot out of that. If I lived closer to somewhere that had an open studio, that would be wonderful. And I don't have the space here to do it, or I would consider it. I don't know. I'm very, very introverted, so I don't think it's looking too bad. This down here, oops, this down here is too light. I can fix that easy enough. I want to start in and get his hairline in there, but I'm going to go ahead and do this, even if it's just a wash, something to make it a little darker. That's what's happened when your paint doesn't flow. Come on, baby. Come on. Does that look on the screen? It's a little closer. Let's get a little darker in there. I had to really tape down this page on the in the sketchbook, the edge of it here, because it's I painted or gessoed all the pages in it for painting, and in the process it made the binding kind of wonky. I should have known better, but there's a highlight right here. Right here. Right there. And I realize that's pretty stark, so I can take it back. I can knock it back. We need to wait for it to dry. I'm realizing too there's a little bit of a resemblance to JFK Jr. Or is it RFK? The Kennedy that was running. Okay. Let's get the rest of this in here so we can start getting the background and all this finished up and mix up some blue. Oh, never got his little ear. I'll have to fix that. And I don't mean this to make this look like coloring book type painting. You know, I drew it, and now I'm filling in the lines. Because I'm really looking at the at my resource here. hair's not thick enough, is it? I had a line up higher, and it looked like it was too high. But now that I'm looking at it, I think he needs to have a little more hair. That's better. And the other side. And the other side. And I can definitely see this isn't dark enough right in here. I'm going back on his hairline and making it so it's not so drastic, so it doesn't look like a separate object. Yeah, I still haven't got this darker. My plan is to get this hair in there and the highlights on the glasses on his face, his ear, do the background. And then wrap it up. looking at it, comparing I got the eyebrow too light. There's upper eyelid. He's got those heavy, what is that called? What is that called when you have hooded? He has hooded eyes. And highlights are not always just white. Usually there's a little yellow in with them, or whatever they're reflecting off of. Ears tend to be very vascular too, just like the nose, and they'll show a little red where the light shines through the blood veins. It's a little too red. I'll get back. I'm looking at the screen. You see how the white almost looks bluish on the original? What I'm doing is I'm switching so I can start getting some of this in around his, I didn't get the highlights on his. I don't think this over here looks dark enough yet. I don't know what the problem is, but we'll figure it out. And I don't know if you saw me knock down the highlights, some of these different values over here are different hues. Okay. I'm going to start. We're going to start with the suit. Do we start with the suit? Or no, let's start with the because I want to get, and my background may not be exactly the same colors, but I'm going to try and get them the same value. How close is that? A little blue. And you notice he has these almost like dry brush marks. So it's not black and then a whiter. And that's to soften the edges. So it's not so stark. This is the fun part where I get to smush the paint around. Smushing is a technical term. My dog's snoring back there. I don't know if this is an intended like shadow or if it was created just to, yeah, soften that. Need a little blue. Light blue. I didn't think I would use all the white I had out, but it sure looks like I'm going to. Get that suit on there. It may look like it's all black, but there's actually some lighter areas in it on like the lapel. Anybody in the surface area? First. I think that needs to go. Having to make the background a lot darker in real life than I did. I thought I would, in order for it to come off right on the camera. Whoops. My favorite part is taking off this tape and just seeing those nice clean white edges. I keep looking back and forth. It's been 2 hours. Let me do a few edge touch-ups and then I'll take the tape off. Because right here we've got a white line that shows up where I put the Soften some of those edges. This, oh yeah, I got that too. I forgot about that. I kind of swept over that with background color. Got some splatters on there. I think my husband's going to be coming in just a second. Just for winding up. I told him not to make any loud noises, but he's doing a Walmart pickup, and you hear that evil dog. Yeah. I'll try and smooth that out a little bit. That's not quite so harsh. I think that's, for a study, I think that's probably pretty good. I think I'm going to call that good. See, his mustache is sorry about that. It seems like his mustache has a darker. My paint is drying out, but I'm not going to worry about it too terribly much since we're about to be done here. Yep, it's my husband coming home. Whoa. I know this all needs to be darker around here. I don't know. Let's see what it does. Yeah. I think I'm going to leave that. I do need to put a little bit of a and over here. I think there's some. I'm just touching this up here and there where we lost some of the edge. Okay. Whoops. I dropped the paper towel. We just about got her. It's hard to take off with your gloves, but It's the best way. The current moment. Oops. Put that up there. I'm going to just put some white over that, or it bled through the paint or through the tape. Whoops. I think I'm going to go straight to the white container because that's not working very well. This is just a 2-hour study. It's not an exact replica. I think we're doing okay. Yeah, that's just not covering. We'll pretend like it did. Well, you're welcome, Lizbeth. I appreciate y'all being here. I'm seeing something. My husband says I do this all the time. I go back and mess with it after I say I'm done. Yeah, I think I'm going to call that good. Good enough. If we had another couple of hours, I probably would just keep going. And John Singer Sargent. Study. Acrylic. Oops. Oh, my pencil's not giving out. It is. What is today? The 11th? 11/11/24. Theodore Roosevelt. I always make sure I mark them on who the original artist was, so that there's no confusion. Okay, I need to leave it alone. All right, I will see you all next week, if not before. And I thank you for being here. You rock. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the little bell so that you can hear the ding notification whenever I go live, because I will I will be doing these on Monday afternoons until for the remainder of the year of 2024. And I hope you have a wonderful week. All right. Bye all.